Hello and welcome back to the June episode of the Matchy Chapter podcast. This month we read fantasy book We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark. Thank you for showing me that, Tamika, because I would have forgotten. Okay, we are going to start this episode with some book news because Rebecca Yarros, my favorite author, if you guys don't know already, has been absolutely feeding us on Instagram. As of 2 days ago, she was spotted at the Alex Warren concert. I'll put a little image up for you guys watching at home. And she not only said, I got to visit Alex Warren at work, she mentioned, like, she did a carousel post of, I'm going to try and describe her Instagram post.
Okay,
it's going to be hard. Give me a second. She gave us a carousel post, and in it there was a few videos, and it said number 1 video was just for fun. Number 2 video was Onyx Storm, which is Alex Warren singing
Ordinary.
Yes. So if that's not a massive Easter egg clue, I don't know. She also did slide for September Empyrean, but probably not who you might think, Winky Face. And then she's done Empyrean number 4. I don't know what those mean.
We're getting like a little book before book 4 at the end of the year. She announced not that long ago.
But it says, but probably not what you might think.
I know. Winky.
She's so cryptic.
Oh, she's so cryptic.
She's definitely taken a note from Taylor Swift's book because she's so Taylor Swift coded. Anyway, I love it. And also for the Trisha Paytas fans, me included, Trisha Paytas' podcast latest episode, I think it came out 2 days ago. So the date of recording, that was the 13th of June. Mm-hmm. She said, watch out Australia for March. She was talking about her memoir, Crying on the Kitchen Floor, and she was talking about doing her book tour. She is going on tour in America and the UK, I believe, in November. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully that means she's coming to Australia in March for either a book tour or, like, I'm hoping a live podcast recording. But
that's exciting.
Trisha Paytas might be seen down under. I'm really excited. What book news do you have for
me? I'm still over here on a high with our book adaptations, book to TV adaptations that we've had the last couple of months. It's so exciting. I'm still living at Briar University with the off-campus TV show. I think I've watched it 3 times now, which follows
you and the rest of the world.
Yeah. Again, the fandom's moved from heated rivalry to off campus, and I love it.
Did you see him dancing at the Kid Laroi concert? Did you get the ick or no ick?
No ick.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that icky either. No. People were absolutely roasting him.
It could have gone either way. And that's what it was like. Women don't get the ick, girls get the ick. No, I love it. I'm all for it.
I think people missed the point that he was doing the dance from the show, and like he was the stripper.
Yeah, if you hadn't seen maybe it gave you the ick if you hadn't seen the show.
Yeah,
but it's bringing that song back, that Kid Laroi song back.
Yeah.
Into the charts. But they also announced that season 2 is going to follow Ali and Dean's story, which I think the book is called like number 3 in the series or something. Because we do get a lot of Ali and Dean in the first season. So
have you read them?
I have, yes.
Oh, really?
Not all of them.
Oh, I didn't know you read them. That's so exciting. I thought you said I'm not reading the book, so did you start?
Yeah, I started.
Liar. Okay.
And another one that we're getting is one that I actually haven't read either, is Every Year After, which follows the book Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Oh. And that's taking off. I think that is either out or it's
I
just
think
about
it's
to come
out.
But Prime is feeding us.
I know.
Amazon Prime is like,
thank you, Jeff Bezos. Never thought I would say that. All right. That's it for our book news this week. Let's enter into the chat about our June book read. I was scrolling and stalking Goodreads as I normally do before an episode, and I have a little game of agree or disagree for you, Tamika.
Okay, let's
So
go.
I'm going to give you 3 statements and you can agree, disagree, discuss as much as you like. Free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, okay. Go on. Let's go.
Reader number 1 said, "This book isn't doing anything particularly unique and the world building never becomes its strongest point, but I still had fun."
Yeah, agree.
Agree.
Yeah.
"Oh, this gave me so much nostalgic Vampire Diaries vibes and I was here for it. It had me with that and I ate up every crumb."
Disagree. It did have Vampire Diaries vibes, but I didn't eat it up.
I'm going to keep my opinion for later because I'll get in trouble. "This book was absolutely action-packed and had twists and turns and made me truly hooked. The ending was wild and I cannot wait for book 2.
No, I disagree.
I agree with your disagree.
Agreed.
"I fear this is another book that Book Talk has overhyped."
Yeah.
Agree?
Agreed.
Scrolling Book Talk, we had the mixed opinions as well. I feel like those grabs from Goodreads were a nice mix of what everyone was saying because there is so much diversity in opinion about We Who Will Die. Let's take a look at what Book Talk is saying. I have 2 videos to play with you, for you today. I'll just play a snippet to keep this short and sweet. What you need to know about video 1 is it is by a Book Talk user called Blair and she received an advanced reader copy.
Mark my fucking words, this will be the next big book on Book Talk. This is a fantasy romance that follows our FMC Arvel, who is forced into this horrific, deadly tournament. And I'm talking like gladiator style, 2 men enter, 1 man leave, fight to the death type tournament. And we've got vampires, we've got mythical creatures, we've got an FMC that is finally fucking written so refreshingly well, you're going to scream.
Okay, so for pacing, I won't play the whole video, but she goes on to describe the story a little bit more and basically brags about it.
Yeah, okay.
And she's not wrong, right?
No, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's great. There is a new book boyfriend on the list.
She makes it sound so captivating and definitely a book that I want to pick up, which is why we did. But let me show you video number 2. This one is by TikTok user Tegan Reads, and this is kind of the other end of the spectrum of opinions.
Yeah, okay.
No one is more surprised than I am, but I have found my second DNF of the year so far, and unfortunately it is We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark. Now, I have been reading this book for over a month via audiobook, and I can't even blame it on the audiobook because the audiobook is great, the narrators are good. I just am not connecting to anything in this book, unfortunately. If you asked me to tell you what the book was about or what I've read about, I couldn't tell you. It has gone in one ear and out the other ear. It's clearly not very memorable to me.
In my humble opinion, I feel like I couldn't agree more with this user because if it wasn't for Book Club, I probably would have DNF'd this as well.
Yeah, okay.
And I also audiobooked it. Like the audiobook was great.
Yeah.
So we can't, like, normally I like to blame the audiobook and my attention diverting, but genuinely, like, what she said was so accurate. That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah, you just couldn't grasp it. See, it's kind of weird because I read the hard copy, I eyeballed it, and have the exact same opinion.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so it wasn't just us. Like, it was the book, right?
Yeah. You can't blame whether it was audio or, like, yeah. If I'm being completely honest with you, I had to restart it at like 90 pages in because upon first impressions, I was so confused and I had no idea what was going on. And then when I restarted it, I still had no idea what was going on. So I feel like I thought that I had missed like a whole heap of really important information to try and grasp, but no, I still had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I actually hard agree with that one. And I want to say it might have been because of my mood. Like I was not in the mood for a fantasy whatsoever, which is why I picked up the audiobook. And not to spoil my complete opinion and thoughts, but yeah, I just wasn't captivated and I wasn't ready for it. I didn't want it. Take it back.
Yeah, which is so annoying. It's because it had such strong building blocks to be such a great story. Like, all the ingredients were there.
Yes,
but the cake was undercooked.
Yes, it had fantastic tropes. We had vampires, trials, tournaments, enemies to lovers, mythical creatures, love triangle. Like you said, fantastic ingredients.
Right.
The dish was just underdeveloped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in saying that, if you were new to fantasy, this probably would be a really great place to start because of its simplicity. And dare I say that may be the reader's intention to expand her readership, which would be smart.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because, I mean, she definitely had me at vampires.
Yes. And this is the first vampire story that I didn't cringe at. The last vampire story I tried to read was Serpents and the Wings of the Night. Absolutely not. That was so cringy. I couldn't get into it. But this one, I didn't cringe at the vampire aspect whatsoever.
Yeah. And if you were a Vampire Diaries person, you probably would enjoy this.
Can I just give a hot take?
You're gonna say
Just
this.
because there are vampires does not mean it is a Vampire Diaries coded story. Can we drop the Vampire Diaries nostalgia, like fantasy?
But come on, we're us Damon Salvatore girlies are just holding on to everything that we can get, and Rorik is Damon Salvatore.
Hey, I am a Vampire Diaries apologist. I have watched that show more than any other show ever. I understand, but can we just let Vampire Diaries be Vampire Diaries and stop trying to recreate it, because it's not going to happen. So,
okay, we will let Vampire Diaries
Yes.
lie where Vampire Diaries lays.
let's just let it die. Let it rest. I really didn't have much words to like describe the weaknesses of the book. So obviously I did what I do best, and I stalk the internet for other people's opinions.
Yeah, perfect.
And I feel like this segment from Bookish Goblin online summarized it really well. So I'm going to read it for you guys. We Who Will Die has good bones, a magic system that's intriguing, combinations I haven't seen before, and characters that are very rootable. However, I'm not sure if it's just recency bias, but Romantasy lately has been dumbing down its fantasy elements through heavy exposition and rushing through too many plot points, which is exactly my thoughts on the weaknesses of this book. Maybe the reason we are feeling like it's rushing through the plot points is because there's a lot of assumed knowledge on the reader's end that Stacia wants us to have, but we just don't have it because she hasn't given it to us.
Yeah.
For example, she uses quotes like, the moon hangs pregnant in the sky, instead of just telling us the moon is
It's a full moon. Yeah.
It's a full moon.
And it's bright.
And I get that that's like creative, but at the same time, when you're doing it for every single detail in the story, it can kind of make you a little bit disjointed and lost with the storyline.
Yeah, I get it. Like, why are the descriptions, they're so random?
Yeah.
And another thing too is, why are we only finding out what the main character looks like at page 153?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not, like you said, it's so disjointed.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go into character chat and let's start with Arvel.
Well, I find her quite irritating.
Yeah.
Actually. I think she's just complained too much, and there's just way too much of a sob story going on in her head.
Yeah.
Like, why is her only backstory is that everything went wrong for her all on one day, all at one time?
Yeah.
And that's all we keep hearing about.
And God forbid we have a whingy FMC.
God forbid. Like, channel that frustration, girl. Channel it into rage and anger and courage.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting. Like, we hear more about her dead friend Cassia throughout this book than we do about her.
We hear so much about Cassia. It almost like took me out of the story because it felt like every chapter was kind of wrapping up with her.
Yeah, and or almost felt like maybe you start thinking like maybe she isn't dead, maybe she's going to come back, and this is why we have to know about her. Like, it's just
and then none of that eventuated.
And then none of it eventuated. Yeah, exactly. As for the other characters, like we have your two, I guess they're going to be male main characters. We have Tiernan, who I thought was a little overbearing, a little overprotective, sort of not in a good way.
Yeah, he didn't really have too much. Sorry to cut you off. He didn't have like too much. He didn't have any justification for his protectiveness.
Yeah, it was just like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be here.
Like, why, Tiernan?
It's like,
yeah.
And then you obviously find out, like, he's the Primus. You don't know who he is at the start, and then you find out that he is actually her ex-boyfriend or whatever you want to call it. But it's still not reason enough for him to be that weirdly overprotective.
And I definitely wanted way more from Rorik. Like, obviously we're going to get his complete side, and probably it's not even a spoiler, but they're probably going to have something together.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way that ended, they're definitely going to get together.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just didn't get much from Rorik at all, and I wanted so much more from him.
See, for me, I think Rorik is the only tick in the whole book, because you can tell that there is more to him.
Yeah.
There is and I'm hoping, like what you said, we're going to get more depth.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell he's a bit more mysterious.
Yeah.
There's more to him. But he's also that true baddie.
Yeah. Yeah, we just didn't get enough of anyone to really connect with any of them.
No, you literally...
Arbel.
Yeah, that's right. We literally don't know anything about any of the other characters, any of the side characters. Like, one of them dies, the Tiberius Cotter dies, and it would have been nice to know him a little more before she accidentally killed him, because I feel like that was a really important point in the story, and an upsetting point for a lot of the other characters.
Yeah.
But you felt nothing because you didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
To me, he was just some guy who gave her some equipment before she went out in one of the trials.
I totally agree with that. And I think it all just lays into the whole story was undercooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's another death towards the end of the book where they find, I think it's is it Graydon might be his name? But if we're supposed to feel, like Arvel and Maeve are really upset about that particular death, and if we're supposed to feel with them and feel what they're feeling, we should have known more about him. There should have been some like meet cute with that character before he turns up dead. Yep. And it's just really lacking.
Was he?
Yeah, that's right.
Where did he go? Why is he dead? Why?
It's just lacking in that sort of descriptive point.
Yeah.
That we feel nothing, unfortunately. Which I guess unravels it, winds it up and ties it up into the end, is because, and obviously this is just my opinion and my feelings towards the book and my experience, and I don't know if it was because of my headspace, because I have read Stacia Stark before and I really enjoyed it, but this book, there's just no world building for what seems like to be a really intricate magic system and a really intricate world. But being the first book in a series, we should have got more of that.
Yeah.
And maybe it could come together in the second book.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not jumping out of my seat to grab the second book.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I have read another book that has given me such mixed emotions, in the sense that I liked it. Like, I want to go and read Stacia Stark's previous work because I have heard good things about that as well.
Really good.
I'm not turned off her as an author, but I don't want to read the second book in this series. Yeah. And I don't really have too many formed opinions on it, because the book just didn't give me enough to form heavy opinions on it. For example, in comparison to Brimstone and Quicksilver, I was completely lost in Brimstone, but I still had so many opinions on it because I had so much depth with the story and the characters. You had
that backstory and the characters, and you knew. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm not obsessing over We Who Will Die.
Yeah.
Like I want to be for a fantasy.
Yeah. Right now, it's just like we're just sitting on the runway still. Like we just haven't taken off.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's right there. Like the premise is there. There was just a lack of execution.
Yeah. Perfect analogy, sis.
Yeah.
I think that brings us to our ratings. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I rated it 2.5, and those 2.5 were pretty much just because of Rorik.
Yeah.
And hopefully who we're about to get.
Yeah. I did 2.8 just because of the ending.
2.8? Where does that come from?
It's like a little bit 2.5, but not
A
quite
little bit
3.
over half. Yeah, okay.
Are we allowed to do point?
I don't know. Is that how far we're going?
2.75? Quarter? 3/4? Anyway, I think that wraps
that kind of wraps it up.
Yeah, it wraps up our June episode, guys, which I'm really excited. I'm not going to draw from the bubble bucket because I have picked our July read.
Personal preference.
I am going on holidays to Queenstown, New Zealand in a week and a half, and I picked this selfishly because I think it will be the perfect holiday read. Next month, we will be reading Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke, and I want to read you the Goodreads blurb. I am really excited to read this. This one is all over Book Talk, all over Instagram Reels, so I'm really hoping it doesn't let us down. But I can't help it. Like, I'm addicted to these Book Talk books because they suck me in every time. But listen to this. This one is about a traditional American woman, a trad wife influencer, suddenly awakens in the brutal reality of 1855, where she must unravel whether this living nightmare is an elaborate hoax, a twisted reality show, or something far more sinister. It is a debut novel. And I'm really, really excited. That
sounds like it's written for you.
I know.
Actually.
I am obsessed with this premise. I really hope it lives up to the hype. It has 4 stars with 315,000 ratings.
On Goodreads. Okay.
So
fingers crossed.
Please, please, please join us for July because I feel like this will be a really exciting time, and I promise you we're going to try and park the fantasies for a minute,
little bit.
because I don't think my little pea brain can do another fantasy this year. Sorry. Not especially when we have all the exciting new releases from Rebecca and Akatar Lady later in the year. All right. See you next week.
See you later.
Next month. Bye.